So I'm going to start off this recounting with a caveat. This experience was with the San Diego LASIK Institute down in Mission Valley. I can't speak for any of the other practices. I know there's Dr. T. Feldman, and then there's some other LASIK facilities in La Jolla. They may operate differently, but this was my experience with the San Diego LASIK Institute, the surgeon being Dr. Tony Pham. So the first visit was the consultation, and that's where the surgeon's assistant, they take you and they do a battery of tests on your eyes. So there's the eye pressure test, there's a vision field test, there is a cornea thickness measurement, and a couple of other ones I can't completely recall. But then after the initial consultation, you can choose to do the pre-op right on the same day, or you can choose to schedule an appointment later on for a pre-op. But the pre-op just does the same test but more in depth. Now I believe her name is Dr. Daryl, she's an actual ophthalmologist, and she gets involved, and not just one of the technicians, and she does the battery of tests on your eyes again, just to make sure that you are a quality candidate, or you qualify as a candidate for LASIK surgery. One of the big factors is if your prescription has stabilized, and also number two is how thick is your cornea. If your cornea is not thick enough, obviously they won't be able to make that incision and fold over the flap of the top layer of the cornea. So that's very important. Once it is established you are a candidate for LASIK surgery, you have until 90 days from the pre-op to schedule your actual surgery. On the actual day of the surgery, you enter the office and meet with the receptionist. She asks you to recite your first name, last name, and your date of birth, just to verify you are the person who they're supposed to operate on. And then you wait in the lobby about 10 minutes, and then she comes over and she briefs you on what's going to happen with the surgery and what you need to do post-surgery. And then you wait in the lobby a little bit more. You get to watch TV the whole time, and you're watching Finding Nemo. And then there's a technician. She comes and she ushers you into this room where you rest your chin on the chin rest of this concave optical instrument, where she takes 20 photos of your left eye and about 20 photos of your right eye, and then she asks you go take a rest, take a break in the lobby waiting room, and then 10 minutes later she calls you back into the same room to take even more photos, even more photographs, 20 more photographs of your left eye and 20 more photographs of your right eye. Now this might sound annoying or excessive to some people. I mean, that's 40 total pictures on the right eye, 20 on the left. But I was actually grateful that she did that, because again, I want them to be as meticulous and as thorough and as detailed as possible, because this involves my eyes, the people's vision. You don't play around, you don't mess around with that. And then after that's done, she gives me a Xanax to take to decrease anxiety. But the Xanax doesn't take effect right away. It requires about 45 minutes to work. So you are seated inside another waiting room. Now this waiting room is a lot more private. It's just you. There's no other patients around, not like in the lobby waiting area. In this waiting room, there's a TV and you can watch Netflix. I ended up watching the first episode of Squid Game. It was so intense. Even the first episode, red light, green light, I was completely hooked. And I gotta tell you, I am watching more episodes at home now, but I can tell why it's the most popular show on Netflix at the moment, and why other people are addicted to the show. I wasn't able to finish the whole episode. It was I only had 45 minutes, so I got through maybe like 4/5 of the show. So after 45 minutes of waiting in there, waiting in that room, and letting the Xanax take effect, I was led to another area where I was provided with booties, shoe covers, and also hair cap. So just to keep the operating room clean, and my shoes don't soil the floor of the operating room. So I put all the protective equipment on, and so I was led into the operating room itself. And there's a little bit of noise, a humming, whizzing from the laser machine. I was set down on something like a stretcher. It's not a bed where it's really wide. It's just wide enough to accommodate your body, and it's not like a dentist chair where there's an incline on the back. It's just completely flat, and you're set down there. The surgeon, Dr. Tony Pham, is on one side of you, and then the assistant Vanna is on the other side. And Dr. Pham is just such a cool guy. He gave me the play-by-play, even though I wasn't able to see much because it was dark and I was just looking at a light. The way he described everything visually in my head, I could kind of tell what was happening. So he said, I'm gonna put a vacuum suction on your eye, and I felt the vacuum suction. And then he said that there's going to be incision made into your eye to create the flap, and then he folded over the flap, and then the actual lasering itself. And now they're doing it not simultaneously both eyes, it's just one eye at a time. So they do like 20% of the right eye, and then they cover the right eye with a kind of like a spoon, and then a plastic spoon, and then they work on the left eye up to 20%, and they go back to the right eye and bring this up to 40%, and they go to the left eye, bring this up to 40%. So it's kind of that pattern, but the way that he described it, so once the incision is made on the top layer of the cornea, it's folded over, and then the actual lasering itself is not like looking at the sun, not like that bright or uncomfortable or discomforting. Oh, before he did that, he actually put numbing drops on my eyes so that in addition to the Xanax, I didn't feel any discomfort or any pain, anything like that. It was completely comfortable the whole time, even though there's something holding my eyelids open. But getting back to the actual laser adjustment on the cornea itself, it's when you look at it, it's just a bunch of red dots, and it's not like a continuous stream of laser like Superman when he shoots out his laser blast from his eye. It's not a continuous stream like that. It's just zap, 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 zap. It's almost like the racket that zaps the mosquitoes, and it also smells kind of like that. It's almost like if you were to take an insect and you put it on that zapper racket and you press that button and they get zapped for a while. It's not like if you take open flames and you put on flesh. It's not like that at all. And the whole process was very quick. So from the time I was set down on the stretcher or the gurney-like thing to the time I was done, it was about 15 minutes had elapsed. And it was very cool that the assistant Vanna, she does a countdown. So once they start the lasering, Dr. Pham says, put your hands up and hold your face still, and he keeps saying, don't talk, don't move, don't talk, don't move, don't talk, don't move. And Vanna, this whole time, she's counting down 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 10, 9, 8. So you know exactly where you are in terms of time, how much time is left. And my prescription is minus 2.55, so it only took me about 17 seconds. If your prescription is worse, like if your prescription is -5, expect it to take more time to do the actual laser correction. But after that, I was Dr. Pham, I could actually see at that point, Dr. Pham asked me to sit on another instrument, and he was looking at my eyes just to make sure that he did everything correctly. So after the lasering, I should mention, he takes a squeegee thing, and then he folds the flap open and he squeegees the eyes to make sure that, or the cornea to make sure that all the air bubbles get eliminated. And then I was fitted on with these goggles. They remind me of laboratory goggles. And I was sent on my way home with 2 pills of Valium, went to sleep, and the next day I got up, and that's when the real miracle happened. Và anh sẽ kết thúc cái video này gửi một lời ngắn cho một người đặc biệt ở thành phố Hội An ở Việt Nam tên là Vân Pink. Anh yêu em.